Government Polytechnic College here in Bandra, the principal, Swati Deshpande, has stirred up a controversy when she decided to divide the canteen between sections where boys can sit, where only boys can sit, and sections where only girls can sit.
What has actually happened to avoid a bit of eve teasing within the campus area.
Precisely our point that a single rope will not serve the purpose. If there has to be a divide.
So that my girl students, which should sit this side, boy students should sit this side, nothing more than that.
Magic Bricks now has been relentlessly trying to get in touch with Swati Deshpande, the principal of the Government Polytechnic. We are here right in front of the room where she stays, but as you can see, there has been a lock which has been put in place.
Just say that on the console, just one second.
I'll get the facts and come back to you.
It's absolutely wrong, and such a thing from a educational institute and probably a pioneer in university.
Everyone has the equal right to live as given by the constitution and the government, so we should not create different rules for each of them.
I think it's completely ridiculous that in the 21st century you are still segregating between boys and girls.
You should have an equal eye about everything, like boy, girl. It's a human. Like after all, it's a human. Like you need to be equal about everything.
I think there should not be any restriction, because then you're just undermining the women in a certain way that the society doesn't actually work on.
Honestly, the only thing that makes sense is it's so stupid and people need to stop being so dumb in life. Education is here. It's a tool for us to use and change mindsets of people. And if we're going to completely reverse the function that education can play in this society, then I don't see the point of it.
Of course, that move has shocked people across the country, as the principal of the Government Polytechnic College in Mumbai has not only instructed students to be segregated by gender to protect the girls from eve teasing. She has that thin rope put in between the boys and the girls to protect them. She's also come out to say that dressing like men causes PCOD because girls begin thinking like men and then they lose the urge to reproduce later in their lives. So she's considering actually putting in a mandate that the girls in that college only be allowed to wear salwar kameezes, because if they wear pants, they're going to start becoming less female. Now, the reason why we're bringing it up this evening is because this is something we need to talk about as a country. If the people who run our institutions, and we're done talking about what our politicians say about women, but if the people who run the institutions that shape young minds think like this, the two things are very wrong. How did someone with such a small mind wind up in this position? And secondly, what dangers do we run when we tell young boys that they can't be expected to control themselves unless they're separated from the girls? When we tell young girls that if they choose to put on a pair of pants, that they're less female than they were the previous day? How can we even allow something like this to happen? I'm going to open up the phone lines right in the beginning of the show, because I want to hear what you think as parents, as citizens, as women, and as men. Pick up the phone and call us. But in the meantime, joining me in the studio today to talk about what we've heard, Divya Punjabi is the culture custodian of Billabong High School. Tara Krishnaswamy is a gender activist joining us from Bangalore. Yogita Bayana, social activist in Delhi. Sulakshana Biswas is an activist who started a very interesting movement in Kolkata that she's going to talk about. Deval Doshi is a doctor and a life coach. Prijesh Nirbhaya is a trainer of the Thoughts Academy and the chairman of the Nirbhaya Debating Society in Trivandrum. And Sandeep Singh is an author and a consultant. I welcome all of you to this conversation. I'm going to start with Sulakshana Biswas. Sulakshana, you started a very interesting program in Kolkata, a movement to basically say that as women, we should be allowed to go wherever we want to go. Here you have young girls being told that they can't even sit next to the boys.
I just saw the footage that was just playing right now, and there is this really thin rope that demarcates the male area and the female area of the canteen. I mean, if the authorities were really trying to curb molestation or harassment or any sort of gender-based violence, do they really think people can't really cross over that thin line of rope and walk over to the other side? what about the glances and lecherous glances and the looks that literally can strip a person from head to toe, and that also qualifies as harassment in today's legal terms, and sometimes you can be booked for a non-bailable offense. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I seriously don't understand, by separating boys and girls, are you trying to say you're not equipped or qualified enough to run a co-educational institution? You can take in candidates, but you have a problem if they eat together. It's okay if they study together. Are you going to bring in this rope and also a curtain, parda and everything, so that...
So you think this is the beginning of segregation which can only lead to more crime?
Yeah, this kind of a ghettoization is just a means of control. It does not empower, it doesn't serve any positive purpose. So I even refuse to believe that it was done in a good spirit to curb something really bad. I think there is a fundamental disconnect in the thought process, and I don't buy this.
Prajesh Nirbhaya, do you agree that even the basic intention behind this move is doubtful here? Why would anybody want to separate the girls and the boys at that age?
First of all, I would like to say that please don't focus on a symbol like a rope. We are living in India. We know that we are having a complex, sensitive economy in this country, and a conventional orthodox mindset of people are more in this particular country. So when we speak on women rights, on women equality or gender equality, first we have to accept certain realities. There are certain ground realities in this particular country. So you can't have a United States of America in India. We need more time for that. We need more time.
What are the ground realities you're talking about?
Unfortunately, certain pseudo-intellectuals used to.
What are the ground realities?
Ma'am, if you go to the villages of Bihar, Orissa, Rajasthan, it is clear that woman is not getting an environment to study because they have been neglected education for years. First, you have to bring that thing. This particular incident is very unfortunate. We are not supporting this particular mindset of that particular institution or the principal. But the thing is, if you want to transform an evil practice in this particular country, first you must accept this ground reality. Certain pseudo-intellectuals unfortunately used to say that mixing up men and women always brings equality. It's not like that. First, we have to respect the women's rights. First, you give proper education. First, we have certain realities. First, change that. Then we can accept.
So your point, Prajesh Nirbhaya, is that first let's give women education, and then let's talk about whether or not they should be allowed to sit with the boys, right? Without education, how can you allow women to sit with the boys? What do women know? They don't know what to wear. They don't know how to behave. They cannot be trusted around men. Yogita Bayana, this is a perfect example of what we're talking about. This sort of patriarchal attitude that, listen, India is not ready for women's independence. As a citizen of this nation,
I would like to have a good reality for women.
Such an unfortunate statement coming from such a person. Sir, when will we get prepared? If not today, what are you thinking? 20 years down the line, we should do that? We are prepared. It is an era of digital era. I mean, we are prepared for it. And this is how the beginning has to be done. It has to be progressive, not regressive, like this decision has come from an educational institute, and that too from a women. I mean, why are we separating two genders? The more you separate, the more problems we are going to create in our country.
Have gone through many realities.
We are at par with US. I'm sorry, sir.
Lots of women are struggling in that place.
Sir,
first
what
you change
US
that,
is,
then we can change
you
this.
You are comparing.
No. What you want us to change the US? You want us to change the US?
We are prepared. I think we are prepared. But people like you, people like that Swati ji, I think. Sir, okay, tell me one thing, sir. I have to ask you one question.
Ma'am, we support the entire
in a labor room, when a child is born from a woman, there is a male doctor who is producing that child from her.
You guys are
so
not
why don't you
tell
her we should only have a lady gynae doing that? I'm sorry.
Right.
Sir, you are comparing.
Yes.
Why can't a boy and a girl sit together when a male doctor is producing a child from a woman?
Deval Doshi is a doctor. Deval Doshi.
You are separating two genders.
You know, this is the sort of thing we should be concerned about. The fact that people turn around and tell us that, listen, there are bigger issues. You guys are just making a mountain out of a molehill. Are we making a mountain out of a molehill? From a school from a college principal who said that if the girls start wearing pants, they'll develop PCOD and they won't be able to reproduce. I can't think of a scarier thing to say to a 16 or a 17-year-old. What a horrible, horrid thought, Deval.
Yeah, I mean...
So do you believe that this sort of thing is just being blown out of proportion?
I don't believe that if a girl wears a pant, she's progressive. First, she must have a status, a good living status in the nation. That will bring progressive.
So we don't have good living status in the nation already, Prajesh? You don't think of us worthy enough to wear trousers?
Separating two genders.
What do you mean first get a status? What status do you want us to achieve in order to make you happy?
Even in work sites, women are facing many discriminations.
Prajesh, no, one second. Prajesh, answer this question for me. You said before a woman decides to wear pants to make her feel good, she should first achieve a status. Tell us right now, what status do you believe that the women in this country have not achieved, and what are you unhappy about right now? What field of work have we not achieved in alongside the men that you still think it's important to dictate what we can and cannot wear?
I can explain. Even when we go through construction sites, there is a big discrimination between men and women. In terms of salary, in terms of facilities, in terms of allowances, lots of issues are there. Even in education also, when we go through rural India, emphasis is given to male children.
Why is that?
These are the exact realities in this country.
So?
First, we must change the root issues. Instead of that, we are getting offended on campus issues like segregation of men and women.
This is also very
so I have a prime cause in front of me. There is a big cause.
Very basic issue.
So I'd like to just add something to Mr. Prajesh over here. When we are talking about this discrimination that you just said, who is the person who is making this discrimination? I am sure it is somebody who is sitting on this side of the rope, who is being threatened and who is being challenged, that you believe that you cannot control yourself and you know that woman is only supposed to be of a particular genre or a particular act. And that is the boy that you are raising who will tomorrow go and discriminate. Why don't you look at it that way, Mr. Prajesh? I think that if we were to raise men and women equally, we're not talking about discrimination, we're not talking about women's rights, we're talking about pure equality, we're talking about pure love. By an act like this, by discriminating between the clothes that you wear and labelizing people, we're just creating fear.
Absolutely.
Are we creating a generation of growth, prosperity, oneness and love? Or are we contributing to fear? Are we contributing to hate? Are we contributing to suppression?
So what you're saying is very good. So on one side of that rope, you will have young girls who will never trust boys again. They will never trust men, whether it's the workspace or anywhere else that they encounter them. On the other side, you are telling those young men that, listen, you are animals who cannot control yourselves unless we put you behind a rope. Tara Krishnaswamy, that, according to me, is the root of all problems that we have in this country.
Let's go back to the fundamentals here, right? What is the purpose of the college? A college is supposed to prepare students, open their minds, provide them education and prepare them for real life, give them life skills. When they go out there, they should be able to lead a comfortable life. If you're not able to make sure that your students follow the rules within college, follow the constitutionally enshrined rights, principles of equality for all people within college, then the question is, how is this college being run? Is it a governance and administration failure? Is the college leadership, the college administrators, they are not able to run the college, bottom line. If they need to resort to such draconian schemes, that says they don't know how to educate people. So now that comes to, what are the set of people that are hired? What is their thinking? What is their qualification on the one hand? And second, what are the checks and balances in place when a freak accident like this happens? If this is freak, if this is not normal, if this is a draconian reaction to a problem, then what are the checks and balances? Where is this report? This reports into a university. How are they policing this matter to say, why are they coming up with these strange rules and why are they not able to administer the college in a proper manner, in a proper fashion? When these students go out into the real world, there are no ropes. So clearly, this is not a way to solve the problem, right? This is an overt way, clearly accepting that we don't know how to run the college. Even within the college, we don't know how to keep students in control, educating themselves, opening their minds, following the rules. Right?
In fact,
on
Tara,
the one
you
hand,
asked about
hiring
what
processes
is
are
the
a problem.
university doing to deal with these problems. Mumbai University's Kalina campus even considered prohibiting the use of the 24-hour library by women, saying after 11 o'clock, you cannot use the 24-hour library. You will not be allowed to borrow books after 11 o'clock. You can take the books in earlier, lock yourself in your hostel room and read it after 11 o'clock because that's the only place where you are safe. And this is Mumbai we are talking about. Mumbai needs to, cities like Mumbai and Delhi and Bangalore need to lead by example. But God help us if this is the example that we are working with. Divya Punjabi.
So taking his thing that the education is going to make a difference, if the education institutes are only going to have this discrimination and have regressive and archaic laws of segregating boys and girls, how is it going to work? Because in schools and colleges, they have to study together because that's what is going to happen in real life. You can't have them not having a symbiotic relation right from their childhood. It's the same thing when we tell the boys that you don't have to cry. I mean, you are encouraging stereotypes. And that is why you have men dying more of heart attacks and going through depression. So you cannot have any kind of discrimination in education institutions or across anywhere.
Sandeep Singh, do you agree? I want to bring in Sandeep Singh. Sandeep Singh, do you agree that this sort of thing is very, very dangerous? And the young minds that are being molded by this principal and this school are being done a massive disservice?
I have 5 points to make actually on this.
Okay.
One is that to begin with on the dress code and the logic given that, I totally disagree and I find it funny. Having said that, we have seen dress codes in other parts of India, in Mizoram and in Kerala. I remember clearly that skirts are banned. Coming to the canteen part of it where boys...
So do you agree skirts should be banned or not?
No. I'm just saying we have seen it in other parts of India. What I believe is that school and colleges, you should be wearing decent clothes, whatever it may be. It's a jeans or a salwar kameez or whatever.
Describe decent
or it's a skirt. Yeah, it is.
Describe decent, decent clothes for me.
But what you wear on the sea beach should not be in the school college.
Who wears that in school and college?
No, I'm just saying, if I don't say that, then you will say you haven't said that. So I'm just...
No, when you say okay, so decent clothes. Okay,
is that what should be worn in the school and college? Should be worn in the school and college. It's
And this is for boys and girls.
Boys and girls both. Yeah.
Because so what is the definition of the decent clothes? Can you just define, sir?
I think by this age, when people come to debate, they should know what's decent for school and college. Coming to the part of it, division between the boys and the girls.
Because you've been saying decent. We should know what is decent.
The motive of the principal is correct.
Sandeep Singh, I might think jeans and a t-shirt are decent. You might not.
Yes,
here we are dealing with a school principal who believes that the trousers are not decent. We understand that these girls who we were referring to in this college were told they should not be tucking their shirts into their skirts or their trousers because that principal did not believe it's decent. Now you go to an army school and you're not allowed to leave your shirt untucked. So there are various views on what is decent or not.
Right?
So you tell me, what do you think? Are jeans decent?
No, that's
skirts decent? How do you decide?
In an army school, what is decent may not be decent, or what is decent in a normal school or college may not be decent in an army school. So it will vary from place to place.
So how do you decide what is decent?
What is appropriate for the place? What we are trying to do is that baal ki khal nikalna. That's what we are trying to do. But the fact is that whatever appropriate for that place would be worn. That's simple as that. Coming to the part of where the division between
let's take that one at a time. Let's take it one at a time. You said first
you... to add.
Yeah, okay, let's take that one at a time. Divya Punjabi, who decides what is decent?
Exactly, and why are the rules of decent clothing always only for girls? And why are they not stated or specified for boys also?
But I think it's for boys also in the school colleges.
Let me also point out, in Karnataka, 400-odd government degree colleges suddenly said that they will impose a dress code for faculty members because they believed that the women who were teaching should be told what they should be wearing. These are lecturers, these are professors, and this is what we are preoccupied with in this country.
I would like to add something over here. I think we are dealing with trust issues. We are dealing with some major trust issues, and we are either ways contributing to a world which is based on mistrust and fear and separation, and versus a world that actually is reforming, is empowering the next generation, is creating and harnessing a beautiful, prosperous world.
Prajesh Dirbai, I want you to come in. Prajesh, go ahead, and then I'll go back to Tara and to Yogita. Prajesh.
Yes. I would like to add a point that school and colleges are place of education. It's not a public park. First, youngsters must have a mindset that it's a place of education. We must support formal wearing. Formal clothes must be encouraged in schools and colleges. Also in Kerala, we had an incident. I will explain an incident from Kerala. In a very famous college of Kerala, I'm not mentioning the name, a girl was killed by a senior student. A junior girl was killed by a senior student. The thing is, this particular senior student had proposed to this girl and she rejected the proposal.
Was it because of what she was wearing?
And he just killed her. See, when this issue, it's not about that. It's the mindset of the people. Many psychopaths are there in this country, and we are afraid of them. And our care towards our sister, my mother, my sister. There are certain ground realities, ma'am. We can't reject those realities. Many psychopaths.
It's best to lock them up and put them in glass cases.
So the problem then always is with the women, right? The problem is always with the women.
Sir, psychopaths are everywhere.
Yogita, you tie a rope, you tie a thin rope between them, you encourage the boys to believe that they are psychopaths.
The point, you are just misleading the point. What I am saying is, I am not mentioning like that.
We are not killing a girl when she refused his marriage proposal.
Psychopaths are there.
Why aren't you talking about the fact
he couldn't accept the refusal?
Why aren't you talking about the fact that we should have nabbed this stalker? And there are really stringent laws. You're talking about ground realities. Why aren't you talking about the realities that are very much implemented?
Because I have my care for my mother and my sisters.
Yeah, so you want to lock them up rather than them having free access to the market.
Okay, let me just point this out to this entire panel. On the rise over the last year or so has been this sort of crime where stalkers have murdered their victims because they couldn't handle being turned down. Even in Mumbai, that 24-year-old physiotherapist who was raped and strangled and set on fire was raped and strangled and set on fire in her own bedroom by a stalker who could not handle the fact that he had been turned down. Now, Prajesh, answer this question for me. This girl was in her house, in her room, and she was asleep. Shall we argue about what she was wearing, where she was going, and what she was doing? Is there any, if you suggest that we should all stay at home because that's the only way we are safe, apparently even that is not safe now. So then how will you protect the mothers and the daughters of this country from the psychopaths? Where do you want to lock them up? In basements, in cupboards?
I think one of the things that we as citizens, as parents,
we have
leaders,
the government must take initiatives. Just train martial arts. I don't know what is the solution, but first we must have a research. The Ministry of Women Department, the state governments, the universities, the student organizations must give proper research to this particular topic. Train women martial arts, give them proper
this is the progress we've made. Decent clothing and women's martial arts.
No, I think we
Tara Krishnaswamy. Decent clothing and women's martial arts.
Yeah,
I'll come back to you. Tara.
Yeah, you know, when you look at the state of society outside, you have men peeing in public, undressing and peeing in public, right? And you don't have women pouncing all over them. And what is worse, it's a disgusting thing to see on the streets. What this says is that the majority of the literate and educated people in the country, which are men, are not receiving proper education. Neither are the women because of the patriarchal attitudes. So the fundamental job of an educational institution, which is to impart education, is where it's failing. They are not able to govern and administer the education institutions, neither are they able to impart quality education. So that is where the attention needs to go. And if the current administration, the current set of faculty are not able to do a good job, they need to be pulled up either by the university or the State Commission for Women or the National Commission for Women, as the case may be, which themselves are not necessarily properly equipped. So you have a fundamental problem all around here. The end result can be gauged by society. You don't administer things for serial killers and freaks. You administer things for the general case. You make it easy for people to do good and you make it difficult for people to do bad. You don't say 1 in 100 people is a serial killer, therefore my entire college, all the 100 kids are going to be governed by those rules. That's a very strange way of administering things. So back to this, I think gender sensitization clearly is absent all the way from school, through college, through the workplace. This needs to happen again and again, and it's an indoctrination procedure. Let's be very clear. It's not a one-off thing. Every quarter people need to go through gender sensitization to say what are the constitutional rights given to women, how they get to conduct themselves and pledge themselves to equality, especially if they are in public service.
All right, I want to bring in Deval Doshi. Deval, you wanted to add to that conversation. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to add something to what Tara said, and that's very, very apt and accurate, is because studies show that the more you resist it, the more you separate it, the curiosity, the urge to cross the line is always higher, and crimes are bound to go on a rise with acts like these. What we need to teach our children and ask our own selves, what is our ability to take a no today? How equipped are we to handle rejection? How about actually curbing the crime before it happens? How about teaching our children back home that it's okay to be rejected? How about sharing stories of our rejection and creating a healthier environment right in your families based on love and trust versus separating people and drawing lines and tying ropes or asking girls not to wear these and not to wear that, and you cannot do that.
Sandeep Singh, you made that point about decent clothing.
Yeah.
We all disagree with you, except for Prijesh, who doesn't disagree with you. What is your next point?
Yeah. So I'll move to the next point that I was saying is that the demarcation, I think there are two parts to it. There's a molestation happens or eve teasing happens. It's a reality. And the principal has thought of a way to solve it. Now, the way she has opted is not correct, I believe. So I think we need to find out a solution how to help her to
I disagree.
solve this
I want
issue.
to talk to you. I want to ask you one question.
Okay, Yogita, go ahead.
You are giving the solution that, we have to segregate them because the mindset is like that, they will be molested. On the other hand, I am giving you the solution that they need to be inclusive of each other, they need to sit together, maybe that will lead to the mind change. So it is a vicious circle. You are trying to superficially cover it up and create some kind of solution
I'm
which
not
are
giving
not
that
going
solution.
to solve the
I
problem.
said the principal
They
has
might
given that
aggravate
solution.
the problem. It is like spilled oil on the sheet and you're covering up by the sheets, layer of the sheets. But you need to work, you need to clean the base of the sheet. You need to include the two genders rather than separating them more. So please, first of all, make that thing clear in your head that it will lead to more atrocities on women.
You should clear it in your head what I said.
Because
I
the
didn't
more
say
they are separated,
I have not
the more
offered that
problems are
solution.
going
The
to
problem
crop up.
with people like you is that you jump to your preconceived notions without listening what I have said. I said there's an issue. The principal has taken a step to solve it.
But this
the
is what
step
is coming
may or may
from-
not be correct, and we need to help with the principal. We need to guide the
It is not a
principal
step
how to take the
solution.
correct step if we disagree with it, rather than pouncing on it.
Sulakshana?
See, they are having an
there are
administration.
separate
We have to
ladies-
take an action.
Excuse me, sir. There are separate ladies' compartments in local trains, yet women get molested in trains. So far for segregation. And the second part about taking a proper positive step towards curbing this entire thing came into the forefront when certain ex-students came to harass students in the campus, in the canteen and all. So I would want to ask the college authorities what steps are being taken in lodging and complaint or filing an FIR. I don't know what's happening on that front.
And in that matter, how come the ex-students from the
be
same
allowed to
institution could harass? So what is the basis of the education
why
provided?
couldn't the authorities simply employ one security personnel at the gates who could check everybody's ID cards? That there goes first line of security who is entering your college. And then why are you adopting such a punitive measure for the students who were on the receiving end of this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Please answer.
Divya Punjabi, shouldn't the college have been better equipped? It isn't a security guard or better rules perhaps make more sense than segregation and dress codes? Divya?
Of course, like going ahead with what Yogita said, is that we've not had cases of women stalkers and, women, they are accepting. So I think focus of all schools in the curriculum should be more on values, on emotional intelligence, so they can handle everything that comes instead of segregating. And, like in our schools, we have the same rules. They wear the same uniforms, whether it's the boys or the girls. We don't have skirts and you do have to wear this. All of them are wearing capris. Boys can also grow their hair if they want to. So their discrimination has to be curtailed right from school time, where they can accept the differences. It's as important as that.
But we have to accept the fact that we live in a state where the 12th standard sociology textbook still reads that ugliness is a cause of dowry. That if a girl is ugly, her parents will have to pay more dowry. So these are the people who are really planning out our education, and our expectations from that quality of education should technically be very, very low. Naveen Chomal joins us. Naveen is an advocate. Naveen, do you believe that children should be segregated, that girls should be told that this is a dress code for college in order to keep molestation in check?
No, I absolutely don't agree with it, and I'm surprised how could the principal come with such type of rules. Of course, he may be having certain concerns for the safety of the woman.
It's a she.
But
Swati Deshpande is a she. Yes.
She may be having certain concerns, but the step taken by her, it doesn't go down well, and the result will be very counterproductive actually. Of course, there can be, of course, I have full regards for what the views of Sandeep Singh are there, but still, see, for example, in our High Court also, there is a common bar room where men lawyers and women lawyers are sitting commonly, but there is separate bar room for women lawyers, exclusive for women. So same way, she can at the most have a section where only girls can go, where men are not, boys are not allowed. But in the other section, he cannot draw a line that the girls cannot sit with the boys. So the cohabiting them together should not be prohibited in any manner.
Dr. Deval Doshi disagrees with you.
I kind of disagree with that, sir, because I think that is in itself a segregation, that there would be only girls section and only girls and guys section.
If certain girls want to be secured in a certain place where they don't want boys to come, let them have the privacy and all this thing. But of course, in the common room where the boys and girls can sit, there should be no discrimination.
Yeah, but if girls need a separate space like that, then that could be in their own common rooms. I'm sure schools and colleges have such places where they can do that. But in a canteen, in a place like canteen, which is a public place, having a separate section where only girls sit or only boys, I think I would not support that at all, because that completely defies the whole purpose of Divya, interdependence.
As someone who manages a high school, do you agree?
No, I think I don't agree, because the whole purpose of going to school is about collaboration, learning together, and if we are going to keep having these differences, we are only going to inculcate the same thought process in children, because real life, workplace, you don't have separate offices or cabins when you're working in an office. So I don't agree to that.
You don't agree to any sort of...
In school life it is okay, because there is a lot of discipline imparted onto the young children. But in college, see, there are some very unruly boys also, and some are failures and repeaters, so much of bigger age, and they tend to harass the woman also. So
they should be taken to task. They should be taken to task. Why should
they should be reformed?
We have to find a middle path.
And why even label them
as... we are labeling them.
Yeah, why even label them?
We're discriminating boys within boys.
See, we have studied in the college life, we have seen certain goons who are generally the failures and who
No. Let's not generalize it.
Harassing the girls.
Is it for an educational institution to nab those people and hand them over to the cops, if not simply expel? I don't understand.
Naveen Chomal, would you agree with me when I said that not all boys are molesters?
Definitely, I agree, fully agree.
And not all failures are molested.
So how difficult is it for a college to create a safe place for a young lady to file a complaint? A safe place for a young lady to file a complaint, and throw the person who, according to you, is a repeat offender, throw him out. Now, why is the solution, I'm asking the men on the panel, why is the solution always circling back to let's let's contain our women. Let's
No,
lock
no,
them
no,
up.
absolutely
Let's
not,
tell them what
absolutely
to wear.
not. I am
Let's tell
giving
them where to go.
I am in
Let's
support
tell them
of
at what time they can go to the
additional facilities
library.
for the woman. If they feel that they want some secret place where only girls can sit if they want, so the boys should be prohibited from
Sandeep
that place.
Singh. Why
isn't
but,
that for
But in the
boys?
general room where the boys and girls can sit, there should be no discrimination for this thing.
Sandeep Singh.
So see, I am in fact in support
I
of
have
the
a
woman.
fundamental question.
So why are you
I have a
always
fundamental question
attacking
there.
us unnecessarily?
Tara, go ahead. Tara, go ahead.
Ghettoization.
Yeah, I have a fundamental question. Why do you think girls want a separate place to sit? Is it because they are uncomfortable? Who is making them uncomfortable? If they are comfortable sitting in a girls only room, obviously they are not uncomfortable around other women. So who is making them uncomfortable to cause them to ask for a special room? If someone is making you uncomfortable in your own college, that person needs to be taken to task. Does the college not have a process by which a complaint can be registered? Does the college not teach its boy students that they cannot harass the girls?
See,
So
it is
this
not like
seems
that.
like a way from-
See,
a way to run away from the problem.
Every stalking doesn't become a crime of that sort where FIR can be
No, but
registered against
stalking
college
is a
student.
crime. It is a non-bailable
Stalking
offence.
is a crime.
No, philosophy will
But,
tell you that.
Okay, every
It absolutely
boy
does.
looking at a girl will not become a crime. So if certain boys are on the troubling the girls, making them uncomfortable or on the borderline, so you can not register crime in
Okay,
each and every
so then
case.
tell me this,
You
Naveen
can
Chomal,
actually-
one second. Naveen Chomal, why do the women of the bar, why do the women,
against the boys,
why do
or
the,
let
why,
there be so much of this thing that girls
Naveen
should not have any
Chomal,
privacy.
why do the women lawyers in the bar that you talked about, the lawyers
Yes.
bar, need a separate room? Are they uncomfortable sitting with the male lawyers?
No, they are extremely comfortable.
So then?
But it's an additional facility out of respect for the woman that see you want to have some privacy, you have a separate bar room where men
There you
will
go.
not enter.
There you go.
Same way in the local our trains also
Yeah,
there
that
we
is
have the
fair, you
system where the women are allowed to travel in any compartment they wish. But there should be a special compartment for women where men should not be allowed to enter. That
Sandeep
is
Singh.
a special privilege which we are out of respect giving for the woman. We don't want to encircle them.
Just
Now,
address
what
this-
sort of mindset
Okay.
is that when anybody
Sulakshana,
speaks something
Sulakshana,
different,
go ahead.
you start
We don't
attacking
need
us.
com-
That is not
Sulakshana,
proper.
go ahead.
At least our
We
viewers
demand
will not
equality.
support
We
such
don't
views.
need
I
respect.
think I just addressed this idea of segregation when I said cited examples
don't
that
need
there have
respect,
been
sir.
a lot of women who have been molested, brutally raped, killed on railway stations, and that
in
is not
trains.
happening.
No,
And
see,
in
yes,
the
see,
trains
those
where
are
they are
very-
having
no, no.
separate.
So that is not a
you are
general rule,
still
what is happening.
you are
That is
still
all-
coming back
those
to
are
the same
exceptional
logic
cases.
of ghettoization
Please,
that
please.
stems from an extremely
No, no,
hegemonic mindset
No,
that
no,
if you
no.
control the
what you
women,
are saying, there should
then
not be
you are
separate
using.
compartment.
why are you making why are you making a certain sex
our
more
women get
entitled?
molested every day
That-
on the railway platform.
that they
Those
are free
very
to do
rare
everything the
cases.
other
Yes,
sex
If
is
you
Naveen
want to
Chomal,
change the
Naveen
mindsets of
Chomal.
the
Okay,
men,
let me
then
just
you have
answer
to
this one
start it
question.
From the children itself.
Naveen Chomal, let me
Instead
just
of-
ask,
see, we are
answer this
discussing a
question
big
for you
topic.
on behalf of
If you
all the
need
women
a
in this city. Do women get molested every day on the train platforms? Yes.
Yes, they are grouped.
Every day.
Yes, they are
Yes.
grouped.
Every day.
Yes.
Ask the women on this panel. Every day.
But doesn't the separate compartment for the woman
No.
contribute for
separate
that?
compartment.
Are you
We
going to-
are in the train? We have to
Bridges.
Yes.
leave our homes.
Build us
take
separate
a mode of
cities.
transport.
Build us separate countries. Put us on an island by
No,
ourselves
come
so we
on.
can live by
You are-
ourselves.
you
No,
are
that's
taking
the
such
only
an
way to keep us
extremist
safe.
views. Come on, at least you are
Put it-
conducting
so-
the debate. If you are also taking such an extremist view,
I'm
a
taking an
separate country
extremist
for the woman, what will a
So
viewer think?
that's your solution, right? Let's
No,
cordon
no,
them
no, no,
off.
come
That's
on,
your
no.
solution.
I think
we are
how
in
will-
support of women only.
How will
only
the
thing is
women-
we are giving.
I think the
Women
fact that you do
molested
not
every day.
consider
Get
stalking
on the
and leching at a woman criminal offences, although by the legal terms today it is non-bailable in most cases.
Come on, but
I think there is
you
a
want
very big disconnect with what we are
you
discussing.
want FIRs against all the boys in the college?
All the
all
people
the boys
who
in the
harass,
college are-
not all the
So
boys.
you want-
You
so-
are doing a great disservice to males by calling all of
the
them
boys are
harassers.
stalkers.
I'm
Come on,
sorry,
now, let's
but
see.
you are doing a
See-
disservice to your own gender and
See,
sex.
ultimately, you are not furthering the cause of the woman. You are just want to put your own views in such a way that anybody.
This is an
We are not
human
a
issue.
cause.
This is a human
better
issue.
idea out of respect for the woman also.
It's
you
a
start
human
attacking
issue.
them.
Not a
It's the
cause.
right to move around freely.
It's a
something
constitutional right.
who's
It's a
up.
fundamental
You are no
right.
one to
Who is
hinder that
objecting?
process.
You know, I
Who
just
is
want to point
objecting
this
to that?
out.
Support
You are supporting
I just want to point
segregation.
this
I am
out. This is
supporting
news.
that,
This
but
is
out of
news.
respect
Naveen
and
Chomal.
consistency,
Naveen
let there be
Chomal. One second. One
additional
second. One
place for
second.
you, that's
One
what I'm
second.
saying.
Naveen Chomal. 1 second. News that is just coming in as we are having this conversation. that the Kannada film actress Smitha was sexually harassed by a drunken young man in Goa and has just filed a complaint. This sort of information is constantly flowing in. How are we going to stop it? Naveen Chomal, let me point out to you that every woman has been molested at some point or the other. That women are molested on the platforms of train stations and in the bogies of trains every day. There is one woman's compartment. How many people are you going to put into that woman's compartment?
No, so
how are you going to, if your idea is,
full right. And
if your idea is
protected.
If your idea is that every boy cannot...
To assign yourself as the protector, did I ask you for your protection? I can
come on,
learn
madam.
a self-defense
That is not what I'm saying.
I am
what sort of
entitled
logic
to
is
the
this?
same kind
What
of
sort
security.
of logic is this? Sometimes that is why the feminist people are being ridiculed all over the society and looked down because of people like you and your narrow mindset.
I want to
we
come
are
in on
supporting women.
I think we should take a look at the split screen. I think we should take a look at the split screen. And I think that...
One second. Naveen Chomal, let's listen to the people on the panel. Yogita,
feministic approach. This extreme feministic line won't help women in India.
Exactly.
This extreme feministic line won't help
putting a
in
rope
India.
inside the canteen would help.
We are not in support of that.
That's not a criminal offense.
We are supporting
let me point out that I personally am a very proud feminist, and I become prouder every time someone calls me a pseudo-feminist, an extremist feminist, because we will not stop.
I will give you an example. You just go through certain
hang on,
Hindi
Prijesh,
TV serials.
one second. What women are asking for is equal
Sir, what are you
treatment.
talking?
Treat us like regular citizens, not
Absolutely,
like weaker citizens who have to be protected by somebody or the other.
Follow simple English. We are saying yes, we have got extreme respect. We don't support ropes
Tara
in the
Krishnaswamy.
canteen. But out of respect for the woman, for their more comfort, if there is something extra facility which I have just suggested, so why are you starting attacking me unnecessarily?
Nobody's
putting words in my mouth?
Nobody's attacking you, Naveen Chomal. Nobody's attacking you.
See,
Let's just listen to Tara and then I want to bring in
the particular category of women who are very blind and die-hard feminists, they are actually doing harm to the woman's cause.
And what should we do? Punish us. Tell us.
All right, hang on. I'm not even going to. I'm not even.
Have got the views correctly.
Okay, hang on. Tara Krishnaswamy, and then I'm going to give everybody else on the panel a chance to respond. Tara, go ahead.
Allow me to paint
like
a hypothetical,
come in.
okay? And allow me to paint a hypothetical and tell me what the reaction is of each and every person on the panel. For millennia, we have tried telling women what to wear, when to go, where not to go, how to behave, how not to behave. And no matter what
that is not the issue today. We are not nobody's supporting that sort of
I'm not done yet.
Why are you raising that issue? Is anybody saying about that a woman should not wear this, not wear that?
Naveen Chomal, let her finish. Naveen Chomal, let
walk shoulder to shoulder with the men.
Naveen Chomal, let me give you an idea of how to do shoulder to shoulder. We'll allow the women on the panel to finish talking. Okay, and we'll listen to them. That's the first step of shoulder to shoulder. Let Tara finish what she's saying. Let Tara finish what she's saying. Tara, please go ahead.
Yes. Let me paint the hypothetical, and I'm guaranteeing you and everyone else on the panel is going to be shocked as much as I am. Okay, so what if the roles were inversed? We decided that, look, the train is uncomfortable for women because men are molesting. Why don't we reserve a compartment and confine men to that? After 8 p.m., it's dangerous because men start molesting women on the street. Why don't we have them go out with chaperones? Why don't we shut university libraries for access to men after sundown? If people start doing that because men are the perpetrators, it is ridiculous. This hypothetical is as ridiculous to me as it is to you. Now that is exactly what is happening to women in the name of protection. So anything that takes it to the point where either the majority of the population suffers on account of behavior of people violating the law. When a thief violates the law, you take the thief to task. If it's a small child, you counsel the child. If it's a repeat offender, even a small child, you know that this child is going to grow up to be a big time thief. You make sure that he is disciplined. And if she continues to thief, then you send her to jail. You let law enforcement take its course. Now that is the same attitude we need to take.
We could easily invert millennia of behavior and say, why don't you shut the men up?
Absolutely.
That's
I want to bring in Yogita. Yogita, I want
And
you
for
to
the same
respond
reason,
to
it's not
what
a
Naveen
solution.
Chomal said repeatedly, and it's been said a couple of times on my show, which is that hardcore feminists are doing a disservice to women. Yogita.
Now
Okay, no. Naveen, you agreed to allow the women
not
to
my
speak.
personal view.
You said it, so I'm going to take it
This
as your
is what
personal
the
view.
patriarchy
Allow the women to
said.
speak.
Reduce the
Yogita,
feminist cause
hang
to,
on.
mimic,
Yogita, I want to hear Yogita. Yogita, go ahead.
Actually, men like him, they are doing more harm to anything else in this world, in this country, because we are doing our bit. At least we don't demand respect. We need equality, and this is what his main male patriarchic feeling is showing on this show. His inferiority
on, these are
complex is
all
showing on this
dissipated
show.
dialogues.
This is why he has come
Talk
out with this. He
logically.
couldn't cope up with feminist
These are all
panel.
dissipated
He
dialogues.
had to say
All,
this because he got
accusations
you know,
against
he
men
had no
who are
answers
talking
to
logic.
give. I mean,
come on, did
I'm
I
sorry to
utter
say.
even a single
And
word
what do we
out of
expect in
disrespect
this
for
country
women?
where in our
Naveen
parliament,
Chomal,
the
you talk
greatest
about giving
institute of our
space to
country
women to be comfortable. You
has
won't even
also
let them finish their
separate-
What's wrong in
sentences.
that? What's
Let
wrong
them
in
finish
that?
speaking comfortably.
No,
Give
see,
them
please
that much space.
appreciate They
Let
are
them
talking
finish
all
speaking.
totally illogical things.
No. A lot of people might think that. No, nobody made you the judge, Naveen Chomal. Nobody made you the judge of who's talking
This is
logic or
exactly what
illogic.
we need to
You
change.
said let
This is
the audience.
exactly why we need feminism.
You said let
This
the
is
audience
exactly why we
audience
need
decide.
feminism.
The audience cannot decide if they cannot hear
The
her.
audience are listening and they will understand.
How will they
Out of-
understand if you don't let Yogita finish talking?
Okay.
Yogita, please finish.
So when I start speaking, let me also speak uninterrupted.
Absolutely. Yogita, please go ahead.
Please, Yogita.
Sir, this is exactly what we are trying to say. Why we need feminism? It's for the very right reason. When we want to talk, when we want to put our point across, we are suppressed by men. Like we are 5-6 women on the panel, but 2 of you are only talking about, male domination. This is the whole point. We really need feminism in this country, which is the need of the hour for this country, and otherwise things will not change. I think time has come now. We have to begin somewhere. I think feminism is very much needed. It is a very good thing. And I think the country has begun, and we really need to change, because in our country where the highest institution, which is parliament, where we see women and men sitting separately, I have noticed that. I have been told by a few parliamentarians. So you need to realize how much feminism we need when the highest institute also differentiate between men and women. And to the educational institute where they are supposed to teach gender equality and gender sensitization, they are segregating it. So feminism is good, feminism is needed, and feminism is need of the hour. And we are happy to be feminists.
Brijesh, go ahead, rebut.
Yes, I have 2 points. The first element is, when we go through boys, especially boys, in our childhood, our mother, when we cry, our mother used to say that boys won't cry. See, first you must change this particular structures, dialogues between the parents. Parenting is very, very important in this issue. Coming to the next point, teenage education. Teenage clubs must be initiated in every schools and college, schools especially. Teenage education is very, very important. Why we are having psychopaths? Why we are having criminals in men? The thing is, they don't know who is a woman. They consider women for sexual purpose only. This mindset must be changed. We need a transformation. We have many evil practices. Even years back, we have sati. We had eradicated it. Still, we have many evil practices in India coming to women also. First, we must face it. Then we have to change it. But rather going to this particular symbol called the rope or this segregation issue, it won't help womanhood. Certain extreme issues are there in India which was faced by women. First, you address those issues, you change it, then we can discuss.
All right. You made your point. I want to go to Divya Punjabi. Divya, Brijesh said that where do psychopaths come from? There are men who believe that women are only existing for sexual purposes. Now, doesn't that happen when you segregate them and they never get to know that a woman or a girl is a human being with as much ambition and as much emotion and as much intelligence as themselves? If they never actually get to interact and you put a rope in between the two of them, then they're going to assume that that's what the women are for. Divya.
Yes, obviously, because they are going to not able to accept that they are different or that they have to be taken into society as one. So right from school, that is why we insist that co-education is the way to go ahead, because only then when they are interacting with one another will they accept each other. And I mean, if we are going to keep on saying women are a cause, why is that men is not a cause? We are fighting for feminism, but there is no word like masculinism. So it's right from schooling days or in education institutes that we have to allow the children to work together.
Sandeep Singh, I'll come back to you. I just want to give Sandeep this thing and then you can respond and I'll give you the last one.
I have 3 points, hope you'll let me finish it.
Yes.
The first is that I kind of like the idea of, one day let the boys not go out after 8, the other day the girls, odd even. It might work, you never know after a month. That sounds very interesting to me actually. Coming to the second part is that, that the co-ed school, in India, I think the most premium school, and correct me if I'm wrong, even including the so-called the most prestigious Doon is not co-ed. So I think we need to start talking about that. And I'd like to say the third part is that in Parliament there is no such segregation between male or female. It's telecasted live both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. And before making such uncharitable remark about our Parliament, we should be careful.
All right.
Let me. There is no segregated spaces, but they sit separately by their choice.
They don't.
Because they
don't.
Again, they are being conditioned to sit
because you want to bring on some point, don't tell lies on the channel.
Today, all the news channels will have Prime Minister's speech.
I was told by the parliamentarian, stalking is not a criminal offence.
See, what I was trying to say.
Let's not digress.
It's not like that.
Let's not digress.
Right.
They sit separately. You can go and watch it.
This is the basic problem.
Mr. Naveen, Mr. Prajesh and Sandeep Singh. Yeah, I think with due respect to the men on this panel, and I really appreciate the respect and the concern that you show up. And I totally understand the intentions behind your statements like these, and they're very well taken, not just by us, but a lot of women across. So please do not get offended by our statements. What we are trying to say is that we are addressing to 2 issues. Before that, I would just like to say that while we were talking about feminism, why doesn't a concept of humanism exist? Why do we have to be feminist or masculinist? Why do we need protection from each other?
Let me answer that question for you. Let me answer that question for you. Let me answer that question. No, you asked a very pertinent question. Why do we need feminists? I'll tell you why we need feminists.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I'm coming. That's my next point.
There isn't equality right now.
That's exactly my next point.
The lack of equality is on the woman's side.
So the next point
even that out.
The next point is that we are dealing with 2 situations over here. Where did we tip the balance? Where did women become inferior and men became superior? That happened in the families. That happened by stupid rules like these, where there was a rope put in between and men and women or boys and girls were separated. At tender ages of 14 and 15 and 16 and 17, when they already are learning to respect each other, they're separated by saying that there is a monster in you and there is a victim in there and you need to be separated. So there were no limiting beliefs. There was absolute respect, there was oneness, they studied together in the class, they played together, they grew up together as one. And suddenly they enter the canteen and they see a situation where, oh my God, I'm not supposed to go there. Oh my God, I'm not supposed to see her. Oh my God, I didn't know she looked so different. That is where we started putting in the seeds of limiting beliefs. So I guess that's one issue. The second issue that we are dealing with is when the incident happens, when the molestation happens, like those ex-students coming in and they actually molested the girls, what was the school doing about it? What were the repercussions taken? What were the steps taken? How did the other boys respond to it? Was there fear? Was there justice? Was there love? Was there oneness? Or was there again a separation further? So we have to see that where are we contributing and what actions are we taking?
I have less than a minute, Sulakshana. Very quickly. You want to make a point.
Let me respond to her.
No, let Sulakshana speak.
Yeah, you saying something?
Yeah, whatever the other panelists just now said, I fully agree with her, and those are exactly my very same views. And please appreciate, adding to what you said, that humanism should be our priority, and feminism also should be respected, because there has been inequality against the woman for decades and centuries. So we must all strive together to see that the women are given that total respect. Nobody is inferior and they are totally equal to like anybody else in the world, and all steps should be taken for their safety and progress. That's what we are saying.
Lakshana, I think that in this conversation we've managed to change at least Naveen Chaumal's mindset.
No, absolutely not. Please, don't poke fun, take fun in ridiculing us, please.
All right, I have run out of time.
Clear views? Yes.
Okay, I have run out of time. Unfortunately, I have to close this conversation. But on this channel, we put women's rights right on top as our main issue. And we keep bringing it up because in every conversation that we have, we move one step, I hope, closer towards understanding the problems and finding solutions. And I keep going back to this. The change that we can make at home is to tonight sit with all your children, whether they're boys or they're girls, and teach them what no means. Teach them what consent means. Teach them that they can actually say no and they can actually report problems whenever they happen, wherever they happen, because they're equal and respected citizens of this country. Thanks for watching.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.